have not been able to meet, I'm Lee Cooper. I'm Andrew's mom.
It's blinking.
I feel a little bad, but I am going to read from the cards because I do not want to go off on any tangents. I actually have a lot to say, and I have a little spiel planned. So I am going to speak first, and then we'll have more people. I know. Come on. On behalf of Barbara and Jeff Ehrman and Jeff and I want to welcome everyone to the Ehrman Cooper wedding weekend. We are thrilled you are here and all able to join us. We appreciate all the efforts you've made to share in this celebration. For me, this weekend and this whole experience has been about gratitude. We all feel very blessed and are extremely grateful that Diana and Andrew found each other. I have been very fortunate enough in my life to have many, many perfect days, and I expect that this weekend will be at the top of that list. I want to prepare you that I have been known to be emotional. So, I came prepared tonight with mother of the groom tissues. I don't expect to be alone, so I have tissues for the father of the bride,
Thank you.
for the groom's aunt, who I know will tear up, oh sure, and possibly for the bride herself. That being said, while I do have some serious thoughts to express, I'd also like to keep things fun and light. Tonight, we are going to toast and roast the happy couple and also see an amazing movie about their lives. You will hear from several of the groomsmen and bridesmaids, but before I speak to Andrew and Diana, there are a few important people that I would like to acknowledge. First and foremost, I want to recognize the other two significant people who complete our families. It's interesting that one could get the prize for traveling the closest to the wedding, which would be Orlando, and the other could win the prize for traveling the furthest, which would be San Francisco. Obviously, I'm talking about the siblings, Jamie and Justin. Now, Diana knows I always refer to Jamie as just adorable. And a few weeks ago, when we all had a girls' weekend, Jamie mentioned how weird it will be that Diana will now have another family. But what I want you to know, Jamie, is that you are also a part of our family. We are all in this together, and we love you. For my Justin, how many parents? How many parents get lucky twice and have two sons who are just outstanding? You are truly a devoted son and one who has been my confidant. Justin is the only person that knows what I'm doing tonight. You are a fabulous brother to Andrew. The relationship you have with him is very unique, highly admired, and hopefully will be further enriched by our expanding family. I love you. Next, I wanted to acknowledge Diana's grandparents, Jeff's mother and Diana's Oma Margot, and Barbara's father and Diana's grandfather Ray. Where are they? Finally, a very special thank you goes out to our Rabbi Silvers. Andrew has always wanted you to officiate at his wedding, and we are honored that you and Ava will be here all weekend to share in this momentous time in our lives. Well, I wanted to start with something fun, and that would have to be the father of the bride and the father of the groom. Will both of you please come up here? These are two very special men, devoted dads, who over the years... Pay attention. These are two very special men, devoted dads, who over the years have given the most precious gift to each of their children, the gift of time. As they have talked about their memories of Diana and Andrew growing up, the pride and joy on their faces is very evident. Jeff and Jeff have developed a friendship, and through texts and emails have actually become quite the comedy troupe. From politics to sports and of course the wedding, I have had many a chuckle from both of them. But when I dig really deep, I really think what has bonded them together is very simple. They have the same name. So the best way I could think of toasting the dads is to have a memorable picture of you, both accompanied by all the Jeffs in the room. So if your name is Jeff, Jeff Bailey, Jeff Wilson, Jeff Lincoln, all the Jeffs come up.
Oh my God. Jeff,
There's
so.
five of you.
I never been
All right, Allie's going to take a picture of all the Jeffs.
One Ira.
Wait, not yet. Hold on, I'm zooming in.
Nice camera.
Okay, all the Iras and everybody that has an Ira.
All right, there's okay. That's it? That's it. I wanted a picture of all the Jeffs. All right, that's it. You're done. I'm done with both of you now. Is that on this?
Yeah, Jeff and Jeff and Jeff and Jeff.
All right.
What about Richie?
All right, here we go.
That would be good.
Next, I would like to recognize Diana's mom and truly show you what a special person she is. Last year at this time, Andrew went to speak with her and Jeff about his intentions to marry Diana. And at that time, Barbara told Andrew to tell me that she wanted me included in all of the wedding plans. And several days later, she relayed that very same message to me. And as a mother of two sons, that was music to my ears. From being able to see Diana pick out her dress to Jeff and I being a part of the tasting, we have enjoyed this entire experience. It has been extremely inclusive, and Barbara, I credit you as well as your amazing Diana. I want to thank you for letting Jeff and I share these personal planning moments. Our relationship has extended beyond being in-laws to a friendship I know will continue to grow. And I especially want to thank you for sharing your daughter with me. I have had the honor of being a second mom to many of my friends' daughters, but now I have my own, and it's an honor to be Diana's second mom. And I suggest that any mother of a daughter or mother of a bride out there take a page from Barbara Ehrman's book. I love you. You know who's next. Well, first I'm going to speak about Andrew, and then I'm going to talk to Diana. Well, Andrew, I have to say that gathering my thoughts about what I would say to you was challenging. There are really no words that can describe what Dad and I feel for you and what you have brought into our lives. As a parent, you love your child, and I think we have told you that we love you and that we're proud of you thousands of times. But what Dad and I want you to know is that each time we tell you, it's like we're saying it for the first time. You were born on July 27th in 82, and we're 8 days early. That should have been our first clue of how very special you would be. You were a gift to us then, and you have been a gift that has just kept on giving over 28 years. You were a shy little boy and developed a passion for sports very early on, both for your beloved Philly teams and also on the field yourself. You loved soccer and excelled in baseball, and attending your games and watching you play are some of the most treasured memories that Dad and I have of you. I always tell the story about the time in second grade when you were given an assignment to write in your journal. If I could be anyone else, who would it be? I received a phone call from your teacher because while the other kids were writing Michael Jordan and all the other stars, you were the only one who wrote, I don't want to be anyone but myself. And Andrew, you have lived by those words all these years. There were times when I would tell you that the right road in life can be a lonely road, and you opted to always follow your heart and take the path that was most righteous. You have stayed true to yourself, your beliefs, and are probably the most disciplined person that I know. You have inherited Dad's skill for building, working with your hands and using tools. And everyone knows you look like him, you sound like him. Like father, like son applies to the two of you. I would have to say that you have your Uncle Ira's work ethic. From working at Publix at the age of 14 to your compassion going through school, your determination and commitment to your studies, setting your goals high and achieving them. For me, well, I'll take credit for those baby blues. I tried to think of words to describe our relationship, and I came up with 3. The first is trust. We have always been honest with each other, and our communication binds us. The second is respect. We admire the way you carry yourself when you walk out that door with the Cooper name. We respect the way you have been open-minded and strong when you have met with disappointment. And third, well, that would have to be the word like. All parents love their children, but Andrew, we really like you. Like who you are as a person, your thoughtfulness, and the choices that you have made. When you planned on getting engaged, you did it on your ortho graduation day. You wanted one of the most important days of your life to also be one of Diana's. Well, I guess everyone can see that we are really a big fan of yours. You have exceeded by leaps and bounds any goals, hopes, and dreams that we might have had for you as parents. You have been a wonderful son, an amazing brother, grandson, nephew, cousin, and friend. And Andrew, all I can say is we know come tomorrow you will become an outstanding husband. I love you. I love you. I'm doing pretty good. Well, I have to say that I've saved the best for last because, as we all know, it is all about the bride. I usually refer to Diana as Dynamite because with passion and love, she has been our leader and literally orchestrated this entire weekend. Diana, when I think of you, I feel like Andrew knew you before you met. He so wanted to meet someone of a similar faith who had beauty on the inside as well as out, a girl who was grounded, had parallel values, and one he could make laugh. You were all of that and so much more. We met the weekend Andrew turned 25, and I knew that you could be the one. Lori felt it, and I was presumptuous enough to even call some of my Philly friends and say, I think I just met the girl that Andrew's met. You have embraced our family with respect and love, and have quite the fan club amongst my friends. Most important to all of your spectacular qualities, you love our son, and for that I thank you, and I love you. Tonight, I wanted to impart some special words of wisdom, but instead decided to share with you what I know best, and that is what it's like being Mrs. Cooper. I can tell you that it's been a role of a lifetime, and one that I am extremely proud of. A little bit of background. Last September, we went to one of our cousins' wedding, Ron and Ron's son, and at their son's wedding, there were 7 Mrs. Coopers from our family there. So tomorrow, Diana, you're going to be number 8. I'm number 4. I thought that I would start with something obvious. This little bugger. There's no escaping it. It's in every conversation. When Jeff Cole started, I don't know if you could see it. It's a 2. When Jeff and Cole started, it was all about drilling and filling. And then when Ira became an oral surgeon, it was all about pulling and swelling. And now, it's all about straightening and brackets. So, it began. And also Andrew and Justin. And I think the only question right now, really, in our family is, will Brent and Drew become dentists? When will they become dentists? And I know that Aunt Denny and Aunt Debbie can tell you, really, the best part about being married to somebody in the dental field. is going to the dental convention. You get your free toothpaste, your toothbrush. So, the next area that I thought I would tell you about is your Dr. Cooper, my Dr. Cooper's interest to be on the water. Since they've been very, very young, we started out, the kids always went boating. Whether Andrew was driving the boat or going tubing or canoeing or on a wave runner. The Cooper men love to be on the water. The next thing I wanted to talk about with both of our men only took one page, but it will be very, very descriptive. Sometimes I consider myself a computer widow. Their love for electronics. Whether it's the computer, the video camera, the regular camera, it could be the iPhone. This thing here, I call it the devil sometimes. And at the end of the day, you know, it's funny, a lot of people, when Andrew went and documented his engagement, many people said to me, oh my God, I can't believe that Jeff came up with that idea. And actually, I have to tell you that it was Andrew's idea. He's the one that wanted to do it. So the apple really does not fall very far from the tree. And finally, of course, we have our skiing. Since the kids were very, very young, we've always been involved with skiing. Since Andrew was little, till he got older. But the one thing that I wanted to tell you, the best part of going skiing is at the end of the day, you get to sit by the fireplace, have your s'mores, and have your hot chocolate. So, with all kidding aside, Diana, what it's really all about from now on is the both of you. There are many blank pages left on this campus, and those are for your journey together as Diana and Andrew Cooper. You know, Diana, you have told me many times just how lucky you feel. Well, I can tell you that this Mrs. Cooper has also lived feeling very, very lucky. And if you and Andrew can approach each day feeling fortunate and with the glass being half full, especially on difficult days, then you will have the recipe for a successful marriage and a successful life. And finally, I hope tonight and I hope tomorrow night that both of you have a chance to take a breath and to be able to look around at all the love and the joy and the kindness that surround you. Everyone has been so happy for the two of you. And you know what? I don't know any two people who deserve that more than the two of you. I love you both.
Top that, Justin. Top that, baby.
Justin has a PowerPoint. Very good.
Well, I'm going to save my speech for tomorrow night, but I'm just going to go ahead and start introducing some more people that would like to say some very nice kind words for Andrew and Diana. So first up, in the roundup, we have one of the best people in this room, Brent Stone.
Whoa!
Alright, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Brent, and Andrew and Justin are my first cousins. In the Cooperstone family, this wedding is one of the most important things that has happened since my brother Drew was born. And it is the first time that, finally, since that event, we will finally be adding people to this family. The first time I met Diana, I knew she was a keeper. Let me explain. Out of all the friends or girlfriends that Justin and Andrew brought home and that have met me for the first time over the years of me growing up, Diana was the one that actually talked to me. Much less made eye contact with me and seemed to be genuinely interested in our family. Also, I could see that Andrew was genuinely happy with her too. At times when the Coopers and Stones would be together and we would talk about Diana, there were never any complaints from anybody about her. That's because there's nothing to complain about. I started to see Diana as family not when Andrew proposed in Boston, and not certainly just this weekend or the days leading up to it, but a specific weekend when Diana came to Philadelphia with Andrew, me, Drew, and my dad. We all stayed in the same room together. And that was the exact weekend that I got to know Diana for who she is and see how much fun she was and see how much she loved Andrew. Not that way.
Any pictures, Fred?
No pictures.
No pictures?
And also to see how well she fit in with our family. I will never forget that weekend, not because we all saw a World Series game, but because I spent it all with Andrew and Anna. Now for Andrew. While you can all look at this as my older cousin getting married, I look at this wedding as something different. I see this weekend as a weekend when my older brother gets married. I've always looked up to Andrew and Justin as that, my two older brothers and two of the 7 most important people in my life.
I'm sorry.
Just to tell you, if you want to know the 7, it's my mom, dad, Drew, and Uncle Jeffrey and Aunt Lee. Some of my earliest memories are with Andrew, like when Aunt Lee would take Drew and I to see Andrew play in the band at his high school football games. And even for the times before I can remember anything, I've seen in videos the prevalence of Andrew in my life. I know that he and Uncle Jeffrey were with me when my brother Drew was born, and just as I am drawn to him now and take advantage of every single opportunity to see him that I can, as an infant, I used to crawl on his and Justin's heads, and he always seemed fascinated with me, at least I hope. I've always tried to follow Andrew to see him wherever he went, staying with him in Gainesville and in Boston several times. And the chance to see him again and again, when I can, will always be a second priority to none. Andrew and I will always have that special brotherly relationship for being just cousins, one that I see only within a very few people, and one that makes me want to share special moments with him. When my dad told me that the Phillies had reacquired Cliff Lee, the first person I called, and the first person I wanted to share that joy with was Andrew. Even though he was at work, and I was interrupting him, and I was in the middle of a midterm exam. True story.
Priorities.
Priorities. Andrew has always been there for me, and I plan on always being there for him no matter what. Just like my dad is for my Uncle Jeffrey, and my Uncle Jeffrey is for my dad. Further down the road, when we all have our own families and when we're our parents' age, Drew, Justin, Andrew, and I will have that special relationship. Andrew and Diana, I couldn't be happier for both of you. And I couldn't be happier that their Ermins are finally going to be joining our family. Tomorrow, officially. For they already have been our family for some time now. This wedding is also an opportunity for me to reciprocate. Just as Andrew gave me a shot at my bar mitzvah, tomorrow I get to give him the shot. Andrew and Diana, I love you both more than words can describe. And I know that this weekend and the honor of being a groom are things that I'll never forget for the rest of my life.
Let's hear it for Brett one more time.
All right, hug Justin.
Fred, hug Jerry. Fred, hug Paul.
I'll be honest with you, don't hug me. All right, next we're going to hear from another one of the groomsmen. Can I invite Aaron to come speak?
Pressure's on, Aaron.
So I got to follow those speeches. All right. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Aaron, and I live with Andrew, and I've known Diana for many years. Diana is my wife Julie's little sister in her sorority, A5. A lot of A5 girls out there. And so Andrew's dad had asked me to give a speech tonight, even though I would have forcibly given one anyways. But I have whittled it down from a long roast to a short toast. So here goes. So Julie and I allegedly set up Andrew and Diana back when we were in school at University of Florida. And there's been some debate as to which one of us set them up. And I won't give it up until the day I die. Nevertheless, the issue that is more important is not who set them up, but how they were set up and why they were set up and how they were brought together. And so here's kind of my short reenactment, so to speak, of their lives. You're going down. I've been waiting a long time. All right. All right. It wasn't long ago that Andrew was in dental school at UF. And Ermin was an undergrad at UF. Andrew played sports, worked out, was smart, motivated, pulled a lot of teeth, heard about the tooth stuff a lot. He didn't go out a whole lot, though. None of us really did. He didn't go out a lot. Ermin was very fit, worked out, studied, smart, motivated, funny, and she found time to kind of go out and study at the same time. At least more than this guy did. But I remember on one such occasion, she was going out with Julie. They stopped by our house in Gainesville. And I guess before hitting the bar scene, they were hanging out, pre-drinking, I don't know. And Cooper was sick. Cooper was sick that night. And there was about a 2-minute window between the time Diana was hanging out before she went out and when Cooper got up from, I guess, his room feeling sick and decided to make himself a Cooper combo, which is a combination of about 40 different arbitrary items into one meal. And I think it consists of something like chicken noodle soup, cereal, pretzels, hot chocolate, salad, and spaghetti. We made it in our house, not like a buffet where it was like possible.
It's called a smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord. So it was only in that 2-minute window that these lives, seemingly destined to collide, finally met. And the rest is history. They went for frozen yogurt like 500 times. They ran stadiums around Gainesville together. Andrew went through an entire wardrobe of one size too small Abercrombie button-downs. Andrew taught Diana how to use a water pick. And Diana sort of taught Andrew how to speak Espanol. I don't know if it was love at first sight or if they kind of grew together slowly. But I can tell you this. You know a relationship is built to last when the girl puts up with the guy's jungle-themed sleeping sound device. That's love right there. Here's to many more years of love and happiness to the future for one more day. Mr. and Mrs. Cooper.
Thank you, Aaron. Now, like the moment we've all been waiting for, where are all those beautiful bridesmaids?
Just as a national, good.
Diana and Andrew, you two are such a perfect pair. There are so many stories that we'd all love to share. All of us have known Diana since we were 2, so we've chosen just a few memories to pass on to you. We'd like to thank you for inviting us to speak. However, please forgive us if our rhyming is a little weak.
It all began at the JCC where we were dancing and modeling. Silhouettes is where we found our calling. The fun continued at Hebrew School on Wednesday nights and the annual family party celebrating the Festival of Lights. I guess we owe it to our moms for setting up those first play dates in the 80s, but after seeing how they dressed us back then, we're not ready to thank those ladies.
The days in Sable Point are when our friendship really grew deep. I think we realized you were a friend we want to keep. Some would think we were a little ahead of our ages, but we loved playing mahjong and making those scrapbook pages. It wasn't until high school that you became a man geek. But of those nerdy years, we don't like to speak. From weekly bar mitzvahs to our high school prom, we never missed an opportunity to dance like our moms.
Whether it was beating the clock at Grog or tailgating for a Gators game, one thing's for sure, our time in Gainesville was never late. Hours on the futon and Celine Dion music videos weren't normal, had we ever managed to find a date to a 5 formal. Luckily, Andrew didn't know us well before you two began, but that could have been because we never left the lodge pool in our attempt to get a good tan. But then you were set up, and we are so happy you liked too, because he's a really great guy, and we could use an orthodontist in the group.
Since college, it's been quite the ride. From Philly to Boston, you two were always by each other's side. During holidays, it was always such a treat when all the girls in O-Town came together to visit, gossip, and of course, eat. Now that we're all grown up and scattered, these fun times throughout our childhood is really what matters. We were beyond excited when we heard Cooper gave you the ring. I think we speak for everyone when we say he's the real thing.
Now Tampa is where you'll start your life as a happy family. Diana, Andrew, and of course the newest addition, Philly. We've been along for the ride the whole way and are honored to be part of this very special day. We can't think of a better match than you two, so let's raise our glasses and toast to you finally saying I do.
Alright, those lovely ladies did a great job. We're going to downgrade a little bit, so I apologize. But we're going to move on to the guy that I refer to as Jer, and that is Jerry L. Bortney.
Jay.
Luckily for everyone here, unlike the last group, I will not be singing or dancing, so I'll spare everyone in the room. I guess the theme of what I was going to say, a few words, is that despite being born wearing dental scrubs like Andrew, life still is not predictable. I've known Andrew for about 12 years or so. We met in high school, and I thought we were really good friends. I met him towards the end of high school, junior year, and we became friends pretty quickly, and I thought, he was one of my closest friends. He wrote something interesting actually in my yearbook, my senior yearbook that I just went back and checked. To quote Andrew, he wrote, "Have a great time at UF. I'm sure I'll run into you every now and then." So, really the feeling
I ran into you a couple times.
And by a couple times, I was in his dorm room every day, he was in mine. Things progressed from there, but I guess despite Andrew trying to get away from me in high school and college, it didn't work. After a few years in Philadelphia, I came back to UF for law school, and Andrew, Aaron, and I lived together. College was a lot of fun, or at least grad school with Andrew. And as part of that, we had some really good parties at our house.
We had one infamous party, a bonfire party at our house. I don't remember most of the night. Unlike Andrew, I spent much of my evening with my face planted into a toilet. But it's actually where Andrew met Diana. She doesn't remember it, but it's a good thing they met that night, and it actually did happen, from what I hear, from what I've been told. And like I said, it's a really great thing, obviously, that they did meet that night, because as fantastic as Andrew is, there are a few shortcomings that he has. I'll share one of them with you. Andrew has an unusual taste in food, we'll put it that way, okay? And clearly, he did not pick out tonight's menu. That's why Diana's influence, one of the reasons it's so important. If Andrew had picked out tonight's menu, we would have started off, we would have had 2 courses. The first course would have been a bowl of cereal and string beans. I wish I was kidding, I'm not. And then we'd progress to a second course, which would have been a wheat wrap with melted cheese on top. Made in a toaster oven. So, one of the many reasons we're all very happy that Diana came into Andrew's life. So, it just goes to show you, you know, things aren't predictable, life's not predictable. Andrew's weak taste buds have been improved by Diana's presence. But in all seriousness, in the 12 years or so that I've known Andrew, unlike really anyone else that I've met, I can't think of a single person, and this is really remarkable to me, that has ever said anything negative or even remotely negative about Andrew. How often is it that you go through life and you meet someone where no matter if it's a patient, a friend, a colleague, you never meet anyone that has to say a bad word about Andrew. So I guess I don't think, based on that track record, Diana will either in their long marriage to follow. So that's really the one thing that I think I can predict, along with the fact that they'll have a fantastic life together. And I know, and I'm sure everyone else here feels the same way, that we're all very privileged to be a part of it. So, to good memories, great friends, even greater things to come. Thanks so much for having me here. I love you guys.
Thank you, Chair. The next person that we have speaking, I'd probably like to say he's probably the only person under 30 that has known my brother longer than I have. So next I'd like to welcome up Michael T.
Alright, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Michael, but in the Cooper household, I'm either Michael T, just in case there's a room full of Coopers, or maybe, I think in Spanish, alias of Miguel. For the rest of the weekend, I'll be happy to answer to either of those 2 names. And like Justin said, you know, Andrew and I have known each other for over a quarter of a century, which is really impressive because we're both only 28 years old. And I thought before this I was maybe out of diapers, but Lee reminded me that we were 16 months old when we met, so clearly that was not the case.
You're in diapers for 3, so. That's another speech.
You don't know about his fetishes.
I think even more impressive is just the fact that even though we've lived apart, you know, in different states for over 17 years, that we've managed to stay as close as we have. And from our childhood, I had tons and tons of great memories, though I think that my favorite had to come in the late 80s. My dad had decided that he wanted a house down the shore, and unbeknownst to him, wound up buying a house directly across the street from Andrews, which was basically the best thing that could have happened. I wouldn't have been any more happy living directly on the beach. And down the shore, we were practically inseparable, whether we were hanging on the beach, at the boardwalk, or just going on our jet skis. We used to wake up like 8 o'clock in the morning and spend hours just out in the ocean, which was the best. And I think in reality, I probably spent more time at the Cooper house than my own. Probably moved your house a lot. I've seen ours After Andrew moved to Florida, we were both determined to stay friends, and I visited Florida as often as I could. Normally I would do it to see you, but truthfully, it was just cold in Philadelphia. So I come down over New Year's, I come down, you know, President's Day weekend, we go to the boat shows. And honestly, it was on one of those trips I learned where Jesus was. He was down at the bottom of the ocean with Florida Keys. So if you're looking for him, that's where you'll find him. As we got older, our paths continued to diverge. After graduating from college, I decided I'd get a job and go to work. Andrew, on the other hand, decided that he was going to delay the inevitable for as long as he possibly could. Now, we had this conversation a lot when we were younger about how old we would be by the time he finally graduated and became an orthodontist. And I think we probably had this conversation for the past 15 years, potentially longer. So at this point, Andrew, we're really, really old. Just so you know. And Andrew, like I said, wanted to be an orthodontist forever. I can't really understand where that came from. Clearly, there was some sort of brainwashing or unhealthy with teeth in the Cooper household. So, in honor of Andrew and I's wedding, Andrew, Justin, Jeff, Ira, Paul, and Jeff Weiner, dental services are half off. In all seriousness, Andrew worked really, really hard going through that point, something that I could have never done. And I commend you on being able to go through that process. And now that Andrew's finally out in the real world, and a productive member of society, he's taking the next big step in his life. Tomorrow, he and Diana are going to be married, and I'm so glad that he's found someone that makes him happy because, like Jerry L said, he's really just the nicest person you've ever met and deserves to be happy as much, if not more, than anyone else. And so, to both of you, just want to say congratulations, and hopefully your next 25 years together are as great as the 30 years we've shared so far.
Okay, so last but certainly not least, I'd like to invite up our dad, Jeff Cooper. Hi, everybody. I just basically did a video. I don't really have a speech. But listening to everybody, I figured you had the roast, so I might as well do a couple of toasts. I had a toast prepared for Andrew and Diana. But Lee, first of all, I have to say that this is my wonderful bride of 34 years. We just celebrated our anniversary a couple weeks ago, and I couldn't be happier. I have a toast prepared, but basically, I'll tell you what I said to Uncle Ira and Aunt Lori about 20 years ago? 23. They were married March 6th, we're married March 6th, so it's kind of close. And I said to them, I think at the toast, I said, if you guys can be as happy as I am, the best decision I ever made was to marry and live. And I'll say that for you. Secondly, Barbara and Jeff, thank you so much for picking such a wonderful venue. I mean, is this great? Is this place great? Thank you, Barbara and Jeff. Where do I begin? I mean, first of all, you guys have been great. When people say they have Makatenis, that you're friends. They're not Makatenis. And you just thank you for being inclusive of Lee and I. I mean, you've included us in everything. And it's just been wonderful. I mean, this has been a wonderful experience. You know, I have friends that tell us stories that are kind of funny. and I have different kind of funny stories, but I mean, like, we have become friends. I mean, so thank you for making us a part of your family, and hopefully for us making you a part of ours. And it's been wonderful. And Lee and I thank you for that. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And thank you. For all of you. I mean, it's a lot of effort coming here to Florida, coming here to Orlando. For our friends in South Florida, our friends in Philadelphia, Barbara and Jeff's family and friends in New York. I mean, we really appreciate having our friends and family here. And I'll speak for Barbara and Jeff, but our friends are our family to a great extent. And we're so appreciative and happy to have everyone here to celebrate such a great event. So we thank you. And give yourselves a round of applause for coming here. The last thing is for Andrew and for Diane and Andrew. I wrote a little thing. I don't know. I had to write this down. And my poems are corny, so you have to bear with me.
Do you want Paul to translate into Spanish?
Diana and Andrew, may your lives be long and happy, your cares and sorrows few, and may the many friends around you prove faithful, fond, and true. May your voyage in life be as happy and as free as the dancing waves on the deep blue sea. So here's to a long life together in good health, with much happiness and a boatload of prosperity. May your love forever be in bloom. I love you.